Yeah, I'm going to be there in a second. I'm going to be starting the video in about a minute. What's that? Ron Paul? No, nothing about Ron Paul in this video. No, no, he's in my mind. I can't get him out. And it's, you know what's really bothering me is that the people that cannot see in front of their own 2 feet, that never step on themselves, okay, but always get stepped on by others because they refuse to open their vision. You know what it's all about. Right, okay. I'm doing that. Okay, so here we are. Wait a second, how is there 37 seconds already on this video? My cat jumped on my hand 2 minutes ago. I must have pressed the button. I'm sorry. Do I put on these? I hate these. I mean, how can you like these glasses? I mean, you look at them, it looks like I have blue eyes. My eyes are like coming out of my head with these glasses. I'm going to take them off. What I want to discuss with you in this short little video, as you will notice down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the time will end very shortly. One of the things, I've been looking over the time of the day. Okay, I mean, I just look over everything. So I find so many things, I don't even tell anybody half of what I see. I tell them most of what I see, but not half of what I see. But the explanation is the most of the part of what I see. So anyways, what I'm getting to now is we have 6 triangles on the Magen David. Now, the question is, depending on how you design your Magen David, those 6 triangles should be 60 degrees each. That would give you the law of the average. Now, if we do that, we end up with 6 sixes. Now, the question is, what do we do with the 6 sixes? I'm not going to go into full detail. I have not completed this. I'm coming up with some of these ideas as I talk to you. And one of the things is that you have to remember, if there's an up, there's a down. So if there's 6, okay, there's 1 up, 1 down, and 2 that are divided between up and down, giving it 33, the number of Christ. The other thing I want to tell you is that when you get 666, what it actually does is this, okay? First of all, 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216, which in time would be actually 10 days, noted as 9 days, or also and noted as 144 hours awake and 72 hours asleep, and 24 hours to God, in which is put with the hours that you are asleep. Now, what we do here, and we do the split, right, and go 666, what happens is 6 plus 6 plus 6. Wait a second. Did I finish telling you 6 plus 1 plus 2 is 9? Did I finish telling you that it's not alpha bet man, it's bet alpha man, beta man. You know when everybody says in the Hebrew language, bet, 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 well, stop betting, okay? And enough gambling. I don't want to hear that, okay? But when you say bet, 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 but when you put alpha, God, after bet, it becomes beta. Just like the Betamax cassette, because God records everything in this world. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being really serious on this. So anyways, we're going to shortcut it and leave it at 2, 1, and 6 equals 9. Now what we're going to go back to is 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, the one spirit of heaven. If man was the one spirit of heaven, then I would be a little confused. He is of the part of the one spirit of heaven, which is his angle of the angel of heaven, which is 4 and 4 creating the 8. One of the many reasons of 4, 4 creating 8 is because if you lay an 8 down sideways, it splits apart into a double 0. So what we have here is the one spirit of heaven, which gives you 18 hours in the day, and there's only 6 hours left over. Now, I'm still working on this. Now, who gets those 6 hours? Or is it a combination of something that creates the 6 that means something deeper inside the equation that I'm doing? But like I said, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216 plus 18 for the 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus the 6 times 6 times 6, okay, is 216 plus 18 equals 2, 3, 4. Some kind of internal vibration of this world, very potent. The only reason I say it, and I say it the way I do, is because there's people on Facebook, and there's a place where you can go where it says 432. And I've never really studied much. I usually go in, I take a look, and I jump out. I'm in and out. You know what I'm saying? So we get the Magen David in this, and it's the one spirit of heaven, which actually the one spirit of heaven is the totality of the one spirit, because inside the heaven is everything else. So we're going to drop that. Not only that, but 2, 3, 4. Okay. How can I say this? No, there's so many things. We were at 216 before. 2 times 1 is 2, times 6 is 12. Alphabet creation. Why? Because 1 plus 2 is now 3. That means creation. 1 times 2 is 2. So you have a 2 and a 3 by 1 times 2 and 1 plus 2 equaling to the total of 5. The ace, the passage. So anyways, we're going to jump on and jump to. If we jump on, we're jumping towards something. And what I was going to bring up to you is, again, I'm going back to August and September and their differences and similarities of the 2 months. One is 30 days, one is 31. Together, it equals the one spirit of man, or the letter P. Or actually, what you can do is IPS. That's what it works out to. Or IPA, your IP address. Why does it work out? What is the exact question? There's just complete totality in this. What we're going to get to with this, okay, is 9 times 8 is 72, which is beta, which is the 2 worlds of 7, which on the dice, 2 worlds of 7. I picked it up at 7. Okay, but when we go 9 plus 8, it's 17. It's the one spirit of God. Now in the first one it was 72, which you can say it's God of the beta worlds, or 17, which is the one spirit of God, if you want to look at it in this scenario. Have you followed me so far? 9 times 8 and 9 plus 8, why we stand on soft 17? Yes, there are other ways to get this. There's a lot of other ways. I already made in one of my videos an expression of something about Christ. And the thing is, between God, the dog, and Christ, this is what works out. Why didn't you write the 0 between G and D of God? Why? Why don't you write the 0? Well, it's pretty much simple. Okay, the 0 is a value of 15. If you take it as the closest numbers that can partake together to create it, it would be 7 and 8. Okay, 7 and 8, just like I just told you. Okay, 7 and 8 is October and September. It's also July and August in the same, not in with the same numbers, using it with different months, because you know, just like you use 2, 2, and 2, and all these other words, that's the way it is. So what we get here is when you remove the O from God. Okay, do I have it written down here so you might take a look and like it a little bit more than what I wrote? Let me see in here. You don't mind giving me a second to take a look? Where is it? Where's God? God, where are you, God? God, 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 God. So I'm not finding it in here. I must have marked it somewhere. I mean, who wants to listen to a guy talk when he's not showing any? I wrote it down like 3 times. Here's dog, God. It's the same thing. The O gets removed, okay? Otherwise, you'd be saying good. Do good. From one word, you get do good. Here's the 15. You take out the O, you got 15. What are you left with? The seven islands of the Delta Angel. 74, the number of Christ, back into the Word of God. If you leave this here, okay, and do not talk about the angle, but talk about the birth, you would have the spirit of 76. And what created is the one spirit of the 5-angle spirit. When you start hearing spirit and angle, it's, you see, according to the way I see it, there may be the angels, but the angle of connection is the number we connect, regardless of what we call the being that we connect to, whether it's a machine. We're all connected to God. It's like jumping into a pool. Jumping out of an airplane, jumping into a pool, and you live your whole life underwater. This is the way our lives are. We are completely immersed in the water. And how do we know this? Well, when they bring on the news and they tell you the humidity factor and every other factor, the barometer, everything that's going on, obviously somehow God wanted to say, hey man, look, This all has to do with who you are. This is your body, and this is what's actually going on in your body. As you see the weather around you, weather out the storm is what's inside of you. So we get the God fixture then. Another thing I was talking about the other day is how we get. You see the little dot in there? Well, that's your 7, right? There's 2 of these. I mean, there's more of them, but the basic setup for the world, okay? I mean, Monopoly, everybody wants Boardwalk and Park Place, but there's more to the game. So what happens is you get 77. Well, the word Christ has a 77 letter count. And earlier on in the day, I found another similarity, coincidence, whichever one you might want to say, but since I cannot show you, then I cannot tell you right now. There are lots of things, lots of things. 1 and 7 exist in 4. 9 exists in 6. 5 exists in 2. E and 3 are the same thing. So everything is also, it's back door and front door. It's in the back door, out the front door, out the side door, out the window. That's the way God created everything. And we live like in a bed. And why do we say we live in a bed? Because just the word bed without the E expresses the 2-4 number count, which is angel, man, passage, birth, heaven. It's just like almost everything. Okay, it even brings out the number 23. Okay, now we're going to jump on to something next. I'm not really expecting everybody to follow me, but funny words. Let us take the exit. Let us take the exit. Wait a second. Do we exist? The difference between exit and existence is 1 letter. The letter is S, the spirit or the soul. So do they exist? How about if we get canned? We go to school, we get a job, we get canned. We get canned, we get fired. So it's almost the same similarity, is it not? If you get canned, you are canceled from the job. Cancel, not Hansel and Gretel, which I can get to next, but to cancel and cancer, it's the same thing. Cancer, cancel. One is an L, one is an R. The difference between the two is a 6. L and R. L and R. Don't you know the name? Eleanor Rigby. L and R. That's Eleanor Rigby. She's the 666. If you really look at it, because the L takes 2 6s to create it, the R takes 3 6s to create it. So we get a total of 5 6s. 5 times 6 is 30. That's the number of creation. And also the number of days. And 30 days as September, April, June, and November. Yes, my friends. We already spoke about the penny and the value of the penny. The penny is the only coin that can bring you as close to the dollar as you possibly can get without touching it or without going over. Every other coin will miss by far. And therefore, it's almost like the same thing to do with gambling. The word exist, or let me say exit, okay, has a 58 letter count. The word to has a 58 letter count. And the exit is actually the entrance into this world. Pretty screwed up, eh? I'm telling you everything we're going in when actually everything's going out. Because in part of the numbers, you're talking from being in the heavens world. So you're from up, coming down. And when you're born on this planet, your spirit rises as your soul descends. So you are connecting between. Thus, upon death, you are buried under the ground, but your spirit rises as it even goes down. Pretty screwed up, eh? Do you know why? Because we have to disconnect from the global of this world. And the wiring, although we're swallowed up by the humidity, the wiring, how can I explain it? Put it this way. Before this dice falls, I have to leave go of it. Something like that. Okay. What else are we going to get to next? We did cancel. October and January, okay, is the 10th month and the first month. The total is 11, but can actually create a 2 at the same time. And that's the reason, okay, I'm going to try and explain this to you if I can. And that's the reason that October, the month of Tishrei, and the same thing with September, and I'm still not finished studying this. The reason for this is it makes October the birth of the secondary world, the beta worlds. Now, when you go down to September, right? What can you put with September? The only thing you can put with September is January. And the same thing about January, you can also put January again. And I can't get out of that hole. I'm stuck in January and I don't know why. Where did I get January from? Because January is the first month, September is the ninth. The one spirit of birth goes together. It equals 10. 1 plus 0. The 0 is green in roulette, meaning life. 1 plus 0 is 1. You have the one spirit of the birth of love. Because the 0 takes part in an addition of more than one number, in which brings this world to a 10, 10, 10 value, in which the spirit of 10, man and angel of 10, and beta of the heavens of 10. This creates the 0, 0, 0. Now, my next thing I'm going to get to, even if you didn't understand, is this. What I don't understand is something I do understand. But I think a lot of things that we're doing in science, I have a funny feeling, and there's a great chance I'm wrong. Because the only time I'm ever going to be right is if I do the same cassette that I'm doing now in the future. And I keep making mistakes, but as I make 10 mistakes, I keep correcting 2 mistakes. And eventually, they correct themselves. So, ooh, my ass. Ooh, I'm sorry. You didn't hear that, did you? So what was I talking about now? September is the first month. Drop my glasses on the floor. October, you know, I absolutely, completely forgot. So sit in with me for 2 seconds. Another thing to talk about is Red October. Now, why would we have a Red October? And I really don't want to miss this, but I'm going to go back to the 14-minute mark. One of the reasons we have Red October is because in roulette, the red is 10. But if you create a 10 with a 1 and a 9, you would get Red October. And if you look on roulette, 1, 9, 19 is red. 2 and 8. 2 plus 8 equals 10. It's black. 28 roulette is black. 1 plus 0, or 1, 0, which is a 10, is black. 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay? 19, 1 plus 9 is 1. So we have a package of different ones here. Some are black and some are red. How come I know? A, you can say I made it all up to look good so you would believe me. Or B, that's the truth. C, it's most of the truth, part of the truth. I made up nothing other than circling and circling and circling until finally I came up with something that made sense. So this makes sense to me. Now, where were we in this? Oh, you know what was really funny? Oh my God, it's crazy. Does anybody know that in the year 5775, the alphabet will say egg? It'll say the same thing then as it said when I was born. What else can I do? The other thing, if you want to go into pool and in the months, you see in pool, the ball stops at 15, but in the months, man stops on 12. But in all actuality, there is no 12. There is no 11, and basically, there is no 10. It all stops on 9, basically, and just begins at 10. But then you would say to yourself, well, what do we do at the other months? The years go on. We won't have winters. We'll have summer and winter and winter and summer. Well, that's an easy explanation if I didn't forget. Well, what happens is, you know the way the seconds go around, let's say to a 99, 100, and it makes the minute? Well, it's the same basic situation here. Okay, it's you may get to the end of the year, which would be September, and then you'd start at the beginning, which would be October. The only reason why they don't exist, they do exist, but the numbers they exist within are not the same. First of all, one is a double digit, the other one's a single digit. Okay, now if I didn't confuse you too much through that, I got to go back and vibrate my brain. Vibrate my brain. I can have a cigarette and vibrate my brain at the same time, right? Vibrate my brain or my vein. That's pretty crazy, eh? So what happens is this. In the Hebrew calendar, in the month of Tishrei, okay, Tishrei starts sometimes in September, and I'm not, and sometimes in October. Although I've really never saw it start later than I think of the second. I think it was Passover, not Passover, Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. Irrelevant to the fact. Okay, September and October are joined together by the Gregorian calendar. Point blank. One is the 9th month. One is the 10th month. 10 equals 1. 10 October looks like January. So when we say, let us take the 2 months, January and October, we are actually taking 1 and 1 to create the 2. Now, like I said before, I'm not going to be able to give you every answer for everything I'm thinking, although there is something in there and probably an answer for anything I'm thinking of. This is a project I took on that actually cannot be done alone. It's like impossible. I mean, I'm not God, you know. God can do it alone. I can't. So let me see where we get to next. Where are we next? Let's get to something everybody likes to have fun with. This is for everybody all over North America who likes to have fun with this word. Mississippi. Mississippi. Now, does anybody know what the word earth means or sun? Right? I look at earth and the sun as being the same word in the Spanish. Okay? That's the way I am. I did finish with the September, October equals 19. The only one. It's a red 19 for red October. So over here, this is the Mississippi. 9999. It shows 4 births. I didn't sit here to figure it out yet, but that shows 4 births. Okay? It could be a reflection of a birth. That's the same reason why we have the hippopotamus. Okay? Just the last 3 letters of hippopotamus, the M-U-S, is the love, okay, of Alpha, Ima, Abba, and you. The letter M means love. It's the love for the man. It's the love for the children of God. That's what it is. Can't change it. It's not me. I didn't do it. I didn't make it. It is what it is. So what we have here in Mississippi is we have 4 eyes. 4 times 9 is 36. The only one that can have 4 eyes is it the jack? Because let me explain to you something about the jack. I just thought of this now. Jack has 4 eyes. Jack has 4 eyes. Now, the way to get these 4 eyes, okay, is to take out the deck of cards and use the club, the spade, and the heart. Do not use the diamond. Or use the diamond and use only one of either of the other 3. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because there's 2 eyes on the jack of clubs. There's 1 eye in the jack of spades, and there's 1 eye in the jack of hearts. That's a combination of body and brain, or body and mind. So right away, Jack has 4 eyes. So we have 4 nines. He's got 4 eyes. Everything is related into stupidity, where when you say something in this world and you say, it's a coincidence. It's more than a coincidence. It was created this way. Anyways, in Mississippi, there are 4 S's coupled together as 19 equals 38, creation of the heavens. And then it repeats it, 19 and 19, creation of the heavens. Then you have 2 PPIs, 1 for each, 1 for the upper and 1 for the lower, the angel and man. And that would equal to 32, which is 1/2 of 64, meaning there's a reflection here to say 32, and the same thing on this side, although it's 16 to you for 16 of me of the one spirit, to 16 of you and you to me of the one spirit. Back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Because they both have life, and you only can speak for yourself. So after that, we come out and we get totals like this. We get 36 for I, which is creation of man. The S, we get 76. Spirit of what? I'm not even saying it. Did I forget? Yeah, I did. The spirit of man. It's that simple. Anyways, when you start to put these all together, it totals to 112, which equals to 56 and 56. This is with counting the I and the S. Now, if we count the P and the S, we get 108. 108 is 2 packs of cards, okay? 54, 54, and it means love and love, okay? If you reverse it or bring it to a 10, 10, okay, 54 would be 65, which would be the wolf. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the 36 value of the I to the 76 value of the S, and over here we have a total of, I can't get out, 112. 56 and 56, the wolf. This is your mind connected to the club. 5 and 6, 11 to 5 and 6, 11, 11. It represents the wolf. It's communication. How do you know? Because of the moon. The wolf howls at the moon. Everything that's in this world was created from something. So we have to start somewhere and go forward and backwards until everything starts to just piece together. What else are we going to do with this? I had another thing to say and I don't remember. Oh, yes. This is a funny one for me. Easter. Who? Easter. E-stare. It means the E world stares. Now, what does it mean? I'd have to look at it 100 more times. E-stare. It's almost like saying an E-stare, okay, is not stare, but it's the electronic E world, and it's the stairway to heaven, which it's not really a stairway, but a passage within one's mind. 2 aces together create the X. Everybody knows over here. This makes sure that it doesn't widen. The gap between here and here and here and here is very important, as well as the gap here. And that's why they have the stores called the Gap, Old Navy, and all these stores to bring us to the next level. Your clock. You see this here? If I would start this hand on the inside of that circle, when I go to break, if I would put more than one line on the outside, it's easier, okay, for lines not to touch, putting the line on the outside than on the inside. This would be basically 3 hands of your clock. Anyways, the reason why they're all this way is because they're all towards 8 o'clock, a.m. or p.m. See the way it looks like an 8 when it's actually a 00? So you start at 8 and you finish at midnight, okay? You finish at midnight because it tells you to start at 8. So if you start at 8 and finish at midnight, you got 4 hours. Delta angle, the angel. If we go completely around the other way, it gives us 16. It gives us a total of 16. The one spirit of the 6 islands of man. Okay, and you can look at it many ways if you want to look. You see this dice? You see the center one? Can you see closer to dice? Look at the dice. Doesn't it look like letter I's all between of them? They're all I's. They all connect each other, between each other with the I's. The separation is where it all is. You can't drive down a street if there's a brick wall. Man is black. It means you can't shove your hand through him. It means you can't do anything to him because he's solid. He's created from the 3 colors that create the black. Doesn't mean he's black, but that's the way it comes. So much for the screwed up black man, eh? I think it's more or less we're all together. Bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum. Where are we going next? So we did that with the letter I. We did the 1772. We were working on a 98 before, 9 times 8. And if you multiply it and add it, 9 times 8, 9 plus 8, it equals to the reverse of 89, something I've done before. The exits, the entrances, the beds. I'm just looking through my book over here. And this is what I was thinking about, the hamburger. Last night I'm lying down in bed, and I jump out of bed like every 5 minutes when I go to sleep, unless I smoke some weed. I haven't had weed in 2 days. I'm screwed up right now that I don't have it. It's so hard to work without it. So stressed out. But anyways, besides that and some bullshit, this is Saturn. Doesn't look like much of a planet. Looks pretty flat, eh? Doesn't matter. You see what's in the center here? If you would say that there were rings, that means the planet would be split. Or what happens is this is your compact disc player. This comes out. They put the disc in. It goes back in. And then man takes from the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and he's able to live his life from whatever planet he's on. Right? I'm still not going to leave out. Another thing, there's so many ways to do this. Okay. You see the U? You see the U that it creates? I'm just connecting the numbers. I didn't put any numbers in there. I was just basically putting it in the way the game goes. See the way it's closed off on this side, but it's open on this side? There's one open end and there's one closed end. Man has no way out. Now if I turn it this way, okay, you see the closed end? With this in here and this closed end, this will become the letter I, and then one letter I will come here, and then over here it's a difference. Don't forget, the flag is longer one way and shorter the other way, because it's I. I. And that's 3 I's only. And before I was working on 4 I's. So 2 I's up, 2 I's across, you got 4 I's. The other thing I was working on that was really funny, this is not something I was working on, I'm sorry I didn't say it properly. Thailand. Transmission, Hail the Lord. Oh my God. What does that mean? Thailand. To hail the land. To hail the Lord. Why? H-A-I-L. Land, Lord. The N, miswritten, looks like an R. Okay? And yes, it could be coincidence. Everybody keeps telling me the same thing. But it's not. Because it's my reality. The coincidence that I was able to find it is one thing, but the reality telling me that it may not be true is completely something else. When you go to a movie, you can't say what's true and not true. You only can say what you think you know, or you can say what you do know. Well, therefore, you'd be not giving a hypothesis, but you're telling us an actual answer, whether it be true or not. And that's like next to impossible. So what we're going to do here, this is the last show. I like the Mug 'n' Dove. When you put it together on one end, she makes the accent together. When you bring it closer together, X above X with X and X on the side. There's 4 X's in here, okay, that create the X-Men. This one here, actually, if I draw this, let me see if I can do this. See, look, if I do it like that, it looks like a fish, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a fish? And then if you do it on the other end, hold on a second, where's my hand? Doesn't it look like a fish? 2 fish? And then on this fish, you see the hourglass that's over here? It's not only an hourglass, it can be whatever you want it to be. At the same time, follow the lines. There's 2 W's on top of each other. Creation, creation. W creates this, okay? And then I messed up, but I've done many times a formation of 5, 2, the cross, and the Mug 'n' Dove, all in different scenarios, all making at the end the same design. Why, I don't know. Coincidence? Maybe in this case. I don't think so. The reason I say I don't think so for most coincidences is because when God created, He wrote down everything He had to do, and everything, this was first and that was second. It's not a coincidence this is first and that's second. It's the way it goes. Got to live up to it, no? Hey, Lord! He's not happy with me. He says, you can joke around there and you want to get serious with me. He says, I'll never know when you're serious. So I have to be on the ball a little bit more when you speak to the good Lord. Anyways, this is Raphael 7286. I do not know what I missed. I do know that there was something missing in the last cassette. One thing I did pop onto was the 6th rank general. There is no 6th rank general, but all it means is it's a general that's superior to the other generals. But he can't go any higher than that, because you go any higher, you become something else. Isn't that funny? Because man is the general. 6 G's. Figure it out. 6 G's. 7th letter equals 42. Passage 9 and 5. Why? Because 9 and 5 have the same letter count. They also could be designed, okay, in a particular way that they actually are lost within each other. Not only that, on the 5 key is the percentage sign, and the percentage sign has been played with over a period of time to be understood as 2 zeros. But when there is a creation that is needed to be foretold, that percentage sign becomes the 9 and 6, because it's just the reverse of the birth of man and angel. Raphael 7286. Come on, guys. I didn't work too hard on this, but can you just put I don't like or like? I don't care what it is. I just want to know that somehow I know I'm getting into you, somehow I'm helping, somehow I'm being helped, whatever it is. Push any buttons, push them all until George Bush pops up. Oh, I'm sorry, can't talk about the monkeys in the forest, eh? I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I'm for Ron Paul. For those who do not know Ron Paul and thinks it's a crap shot, I'm going to tell you the way Ron Paul works. Okay, Ron Paul works in mysterious ways. I'm going to show you. One of the ways is this: 4, 3, and 2. The number of points on here total to one single digit is 9. How things roll, okay, and how things separate to create to be put back. Okay, don't forget they fill this up, they mix it up, and then you use it and burn it. We might be living in one of these. And then it's this. Do you think out of the 12 dice I have in my hand that I'll be able to roll one of them that will be a 1? This is what Ron Paul works on. He has all the marbles and everything is in his hand. He's not looking to roll any numbers because all the numbers are already here. He's already fixed the numbers. He's been doing this for 30 years. Okay, and before that, he wasn't a stupid guy, being a doctor. But you know what? You can't say all doctors are smart, because I know somebody who's a doctor, and you know what? They're funny people. But I guess we're all funny people. I like to disregard myself in that area, but I'm not. Now I'm going to throw it. I want to see if I get a 1. Okay, I got 3 threes. I mean, this is like playing Yum, eh? Yum the game? Oh, I did that one too. That was fun. Went to Walmart. I took the game and I had a pad of paper. I'm starting to mark, and the lady comes to me at Walmart. She goes, "Can I help you with something?" I go, "Sure." I says, "Can you help me add up these numbers?" She looks at me and she says to me, "Quoi? Quoi? Quoi?" She was French. So obviously I wasn't in the mood for no quoi, quoi, quoi. I said, "You know what?" I said, "That's the best answer you ever gave me." I said, "Thank you." Anyways, the reason I was doing this is because I'm fooling around with these dice. And this is what we get, okay? We get 4 4s and a 6. 4 4s is 16. Plus 6 is 22 love. 16 is also Mississippi Pete. We have 3 3s, the 9 birth, create and command of Christ. Do you want to see what happens on the opposite side? It's a 4. But on this side, it's 1, 2, and 5. And on this side, it's 5, 2, and 6. The last one is perfect. Do you know why? This is perfect what just happened. And it's perfect because I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but you see this? 1 and 1 come together here and here. And that becomes the 2 beta. This part is the 3 creation. This part is the 1 spirit. But I'm not showing you that way. I could show it to you that way, which would end up to be 1, 2, 3. This dice and this dice is inside this dice. Once you mix the 1 with the 2, boy, hey, once you mix the 1 with the 2, okay. In fact, I only got 1, 1, and how many 2s did I get? Doesn't matter. I took up too much of your time. I'm not very happy. I like to be able to come in here and service the needs and the wants of the people who believe, not to believe in me, that want to believe in a God, that want to believe that something, an alien exists. Well, I'm trying my best to come here and show you why I think, based on all my work, why there is a God. Raphael 7286, my friends. My friends, be well. It is the 16th of April of 2012 of 10:54. And just in case nobody watches this, I'd like to say hello to all those people who are watching this right now in the year 2014. Welcome to those who come in here. The year is 2014. If you're in 2014, watch out for the month of October. I've been on the hype for the past couple of years with this, and it could be just a whole nothing. But then again, this is the date that comes out in my numbers over and over and over. The last part, yes, I did forget something, but I did say it once, is 5775 says egg. And there's a big story with that, but I lost it in my book. For now, my friends, thank you. 7286. Constellation of Pegasus in the house of Mr. Tacklands.